What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, GinaMan94, here to give you guys my WWE Monday Night Raw review for December 12th, 2016. A historic episode of Monday Night Raw, and I'll get to that at the very end of the review. But before I get started, slap a like on the video for me. It definitely helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new. We're getting close to, if we have not already hit 100 subscribers. And also check out the website down in the description below, Collision Course Pro Wrestling. Thank you guys for doing all of that and supporting me as I've gone through this new venture with this website. Now, let's get into Raw. Raw was a very solid episode tonight. It kept me entertained for most of the night. You know, even with it being 3 hours, I'll give it a B for tonight. I'll definitely give it a solid B. It wasn't an excellent show, but it wasn't a terrible show. So it was just the show, in my best Roman Reigns impression. So let's get right into it. So we started off with the first WWE Tag Team Championship match of the night, because we had two. The New Day faced Cesaro and Sheamus, and Gallows and Anderson. I say Gallerson. Gallows and Anderson. And if the New Day win, you know, at midnight, they'll be the longest reigning tag team of all time, breaking Demolition's record that has stood the test of time for 25 years. I'm glad Raw started off with a match instead of a segment. It was a breath of fresh air, because usually we just get like a 20-minute segment that does nothing and just makes us already bored of Raw. But this match was incredible. Got the crowd hyped for the show, and we had a good quality tag team match. It seemed the crowd would be behind New Day at first, but they quickly got behind Cesaro and Sheamus. Sheamus did the 10 beats of the Baron, and you know, Cesaro was just going crazy. Like, they were behind these guys. They were cheering for them to win. And then this man, Cesaro, just went ballistic. He just got it in. He hit what he calls the Swiss 19 instead of the 619. Because it's the 619, but it's just very, very slow. Then he dove onto Big E from the apron, like the double knees that Sasha does, and then he immediately uppercut Xavier Woods, stomped on Luke Gallows, ran to the other side of the ring, ran up the turnbuckle, and quickly hit a crossbody on Carl Anderson and almost picked up the victory. All of that happened in like 20 to 25 seconds, and you thought he would win after that, but they didn't win off of that. The crowd was just like, man, that was just an incredible sequence. I've never seen nobody do all of that in that little time. Like, he went outside the ring just to run, kill everybody on the outside, and run back to the top rope and dive back in the ring. That was crazy. Cesaro was definitely over with the crowd after that. He and Sheamus had the advantage. They were working well as a team together. And the New Day's numbers game got the best of them, and the New Day were able to retain and become the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Congrats to them. Now they can drop the titles. They've done everything they've needed to do. Now it's time for somebody to take the titles off of them. New Day had a party backstage. Stephanie and Mick Foley had them, you know, set up with a party with a bunch of like the crew people, and some of the wrestlers were in there. I think I saw Bayley. I think they had Sonny Boy in there, Bob Backlund. They were just having a good old time. And then the New Day came in, and they was, you know, celebrating with them. Big E had a big old bowl of bootios. Xavier and Kofi had champagne. Stephanie did a toast for him, and then they started spraying the champagne, and I guess it got into her eye or whatever. And she got pissed. Like, the party just stopped. And she just went crazy. She knocked the bootios out of Big E's hands. And she was pissed off. Like, she was just so mad and just walked away. So, later on, she announced that she was going to set up a match for them in the main event. We'll get to that in a minute. We're almost to that point. But next we had Sami Zayn, who called out Mick Foley again on Twitter and said that if he doesn't give him his match with Braun Strowman, or he said give him his match with Braun Strowman or else, or something like that, just demanding a match against the Strowman. Stephanie was going to dry off into her office backstage, and Owens walked up to her, said they should teach New Day a lesson, and she was like she'll hear him out after she gets dried off and everything, but she was obviously still pissed off at them, so she wanted to do something to punish them. Next we had Braun Strowman versus Curtis Axel. Sami Zayn obviously didn't get the match that he wanted, But Strowman destroyed Axel nonetheless with this wheelbarrow faceplant that he did. And I love that commentary put over his different finisher. Not for the fact of what he did, just for the fact that he did something different. They said, I think Michael Cole said, he says no matter what he throws at you, it can end the match. And I think that's key to building up Braun Strowman. That he doesn't have to be, just this one finisher guy. He can do multiple finishers and all of it will end the match. So I like what they did there. He destroyed Curtis Axel. It was just a squash match. And then they sent Byron Saxton to the ring to have him respond to what Sami Zayn said about demanding a match with him. And then Braun was like, you didn't congratulate me on my match. You do that first, and then you ask me a question. I'm just like, yes! I love how they're building the Strowman. He's a badass. He's scary. You should have seen the look on Byron Saxton's face. He was like, oh, yeah, congratulations on your win. And then, he went on to answer the question. He said Sami Zayn couldn't last 2 minutes in the ring with him, and neither can anybody else. And Sami's going to be looking just like Curtis Axel did. Then it cut right backstage. Mick was in his office. Sami Zayn barged in and was mad that he didn't give him the match. He was like, did you just hear how he talked to me? Like, he's not going to talk to me like that. Mick says that Sami Zayn can't beat him, and he won't help him out by giving him the match. He's just trying to save him. Sami said, nobody saved you when you climbed back up Hell in a Cell and, went through the cage or whatever. Who would you be if somebody helped you? You wouldn't be the person that you are today. Mick said Zayn is just trying to beat him in a match, and Braun is trying to end his career. Zayn said he can play that same game that Braun's trying to play if he just gives him a chance. He thought that his boss and his mentor would believe in him, but maybe he doesn't need to be on Raw anymore. Mick was like, you want me to call up Daniel Bryan and set up a trade? Because I'll do it. And Sami Zayn was like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and do that. If you're not going to give me my match, go ahead. Trade me to SmackDown. I'm just like, oh, this is the first time we've actually got, a little clarity on if they can do trades or whatever. So apparently they're able to do trades. So, Mick went on to call Daniel Bryan, and we'll continue that in a little bit of what happened. But we had a cruiserweight match, Ariya Daivari versus Lince Dorado. Didn't go long because a few minutes into the match, the extraordinary gentleman, Jack Gallagher, came out. And this guy, man, he's true to his gimmick. He let everybody know that he was interfering in the match. And he normally doesn't do this, but he called Daivari a scoundrel, and he's there to give him a thorough thrashing. And I'm just like, oh my God, he let everybody know that he was interfering in the match. But he's the extraordinary gentleman, so he has, manners, so he had to let everybody know what he was about to do. Then they immediately went after each other. Gallagher got the advantage on Daivari, because last week on Raw, Daivari attacked him after their match, after he was trying to show him some sportsmanship, and he didn't take too kindly to that. And he also lost to him on 205 Live, so he was definitely upset with the young Daivari. Next we had the Rollins Report. The Rollins Report returned to Monday Night Raw, and his guest was Kevin Owens. So Rollins came out, and before he even got started, he called out Triple H again, making his intentions known that he wants Triple H to come out. He says his road to redemption goes through Kevin Owens and his sort of best friend Chris Jericho. So he wants to see if his match on Sunday will be a one-on-one match, or will Jericho have Owens with him by his side. So then Kevin Owens comes out and then turns around and walks back to the back and grabs his own stool so he doesn't come into the ring where Rollins is, and sits on top of the stage. Owens says he doesn't care about his stupid show and he has an announcement to make. Rollins then asks how his relationship is with Jericho. Owens no-sells him and proceeds to say his announcement, and Rollins just keeps trying to pry it out of him. And then Owens is just like, look, you don't have to worry about me or Jericho's relationship or friendship. We're fine. Don't worry about that. But what you want to know is that Stephanie is trying to punish the New Day by putting them back into another tag team championship match against me and my best friend Chris Jericho. And then I think that's when Jericho came out. Yep, Jericho came out, and he was just telling him, what are you doing? Like, why would you put me on the mat, put me in this match? Like, you told me to shut up and all this other stuff. You said you don't need me, so why are you trying to team up with me? Owens was just like, hey, you're thinking about the past, don't worry about it. It's all good. We're gonna be fine. And then you had Rollins interjecting into the conversation, like, "Oh, look, seems like Owens is trying to tell you what to do, Chris. You gonna listen to him?" And then Jericho went after him, told him to shut up, you stupid idiot. And then he was like, "You know what happens when you talk crap about me?" And then Rollins was like, "What? You gonna put me on the list? Go ahead, put me on your stupid list." And Jericho goes to do it, but he was like, "I'll put you on the list, but I'm going to put you on a disabled list." And then starts walking towards the ring, and him and Owens go together. Guess they squashed their little beef for the time being, and work together to attack Seth. And as they go to hit him, with steel chair in the ring, of course Roman Reigns came out to make the save. And they did, try to jump him until Rollins and Reigns got the advantage. And then Owens saved Jericho from getting pedigreed, and they got the heck up out of there. Then after that, we had Rich Swann, the Cruiserweight Champion, talking about his match on 205 Live, where TJ Perkins and Kendrick got into a fight during their match. Well, actually, it was after the match, but they got into a little scuffle, and Kendrick was distracted. Swann retained his title, and then after that, they went after each other, and then TJ Perkins winded up kicking Rich Swann on accident in the face. And then, Kendrick came up trying to start up some trouble. Like, "Hey, would your friend do that? So don't be trying to, double team me. It's a triple threat match. It's every man for themselves." And Swann was like, "I already know what you're trying to do. I already know it's every man for themselves. But don't try to turn us against each other like we have some hidden agenda against each other." And TJ came up, was like, "You're just trying to do this again. What, you going to ask him to let you win this Sunday?" And then they have their little match. TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick do. We've seen them fight too many times. Well, I wouldn't say too many. Yeah, too many. I'm gonna say too many. It was a very good, solid match, but we've seen it plenty of times. These guys have good chemistry with each other. It was a solid match. Nothing too over the top. Nothing new that we haven't already seen before. Kendrick got the win, I believe, with sliced bread or the captain's hook or something like that, to add more motivation towards his triple threat match at Roadblock. Not looking good for TJ Perkins. We had Rollins and Reigns walking around backstage. They walk into Mick Foley or whatever, and he tells them that they're added to the tag team championship match in the main event along with Owens and Jericho. And they've been in the Shield before, and they've been tag team champions together, so they already know what they got to do to win the titles. So now it's another triple threat tag team match, this time in the main event, that the New Day have to get through to preserve their all-time record of being the tag team champions. Next, we had Bayley versus Alicia Foxx again. Same as last week. We're wasting both of these women doing nothing. Alicia Foxx ripped up one of Bayley's bear things that she has. She ripped it up. Now they're fighting. Alicia still thinks she wants Cedric Alexander or something like that. Bayley ain't got no interest in that man at all. They fought again. Bayley won again. It was the same match. I don't know why they're doing this. Then they did this segment with Rusev and Lana behind closed doors. Lana brought out Rusev or whatever. Rusev said he's destroyed all the American heroes. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, but... And then, those guys. But anyway... Then he said last week he took out American trash, and the G in certified G stands for garbage, talking about when he threw Enzo out of the hotel and everything. And he says after he threw him out of the hotel, he and Lana got down to business, and he wants to show everybody. He warned everybody that the video is edgy and kids shouldn't watch. And then they troll them with the same video from last week of Lana tricking Enzo to get to the hotel just for Rusev to destroy him and the hotel at the same time. He threw that man all throughout that hotel, threw him through tables while this man was in his underwear. And then he threw him out of the hotel. And that was the video. He was like, "Oh, you guys really thought we were going to show you what we do in the bedroom? No, no, God, no, we're not going to show you that. We had Enzo cornered like little rat that he is, and then we crushed him." Then Big Cass came out. No Enzo. He was selling the beating that he took. Thank God. Because if he came out, it would have made no sense. I was saying on Twitter maybe he was going to bring Emma with him or something to face Lana. That was just me trying to make something out of nothing there. I was obviously wrong about that. He came out and said, Enzo likes to run his mouth, but at least he has the balls to back it up. And that last week you gave him the beating of his life, caught him with his pants down, but this week his pants are on. And I'm just like, because you have on wrestling tights right now.
What?
So how are your pants? No? No? Okay. Didn't make sense to me either. And then he said he's not Enzo, and then starts going to the ring, him and Rusev brawl, and Rusev winds up walking away with Lana after that. They got it in for a second. I think Rusev got the best of that scuffle, and they just walked to the back, and Cass was just like, come on, man, that's all you got? Obviously, he wanted some more of Ruru. We had Owens backstage complaining to Chris Jericho that Rollins and Reigns are added to the match. He said they're going to win the titles tonight and not only be the Universal Champion, but be the Tag Team Champions at the same time. Just pretty much trying to save their friendship because he sees that it's being destroyed. And then Jericho gets up and says they should just worry about winning the Tag Team Championships, and then they'll worry about their friendship later. We get Sami Zayn's last match, potentially his potential last match, because Mick Foley said he was going to trade him. Against Jinder Mahal, he won easily. Jinder Mahal's a jobber. There was no hope of him winning that match. And then Mick Foley came out with his little, binder and everything to discuss the trade. And Mick gets into the ring. He was like, is this what you really want? And Sami's like, yeah, if I'll go to Smackdown if you don't want to give me my match with Braun Strowman. Foley was like, nah, can't do it. You don't want Strowman. Yeah, you don't want Strowman. Nope. Nah. It's gonna be nice being a big fish in a small pond, though, over on SmackDown. And I discussed the trade with Daniel Bryan, and we traded you for someone as equal of talent as you are. Sam was like, all right, that's fine. He was like, all you got to do is sign the papers. He was like, okay, I'll sign whatever you want me to sign. You don't believe in me. Nobody believes in me here. So why am I here? And he was like, all right, well, I'll let you sign the papers, but I gotta just be sure. You sure this is what you want to do? Don't you even want to know who we're trading you for? He was just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, who are you trading for? And then Mick Foley fixes his mouth to say, we have traded you to SmackDown for Eva Marie. I started dying. I was dead. He said somebody of equal talent and then told this man they're trading him for Eva Marie. Oh my God. I was rolling. That was hilarious. That was freaking hilarious. And then Sami Zayn went off. He was like, what? You're Eva Marie? I'm worth 1,000 Eva Maries. And it just blows my mind that you used to be me. And that a lot of people told you that you aren't worth it, and they told you no countless times. But guess what? You still had your opportunities, and now you won't give me Strowman because you don't think I can handle it. And he just got into his face, and Mick just kept getting him more riled up. He was like, "You don't want Strowman, do you? Nah, you don't. You don't. No, you don't. You can't handle him." He was just like, "Give me Strowman." He was like, "Tell me how bad you want Strowman." And he was about to yank Foley up by his suit, like, "Give me this match." And Foley was like, "You know what? Remember this. Remember how you felt in this moment right here, and bottle it up and duplicate it, because you're going to need it. Because you're going to face Braun Strowman at Roadblock." Samuel was like, "Wait, I am? Really? You're really going to give me the match?" He was like, "There was never a trade. I wouldn't trade you, especially not for Eva Marie." He wanted to see if a guy as nice as him could tap into the dark part of his soul and to see if he actually had what it takes to give Braun Strowman a run for his money. He said that Braun Strowman said that he wouldn't last 2 minutes, so he's going to give him 10 to prove everybody who has ever doubted him wrong. And he's giving him an opportunity. And I love this segment because he trolled so much. I'm just like, dang, it was a work. It was a work. Oh my God. Sami was just standing there like dumbfounded, like, oh, all of this. And he gave me the match. Huh. Okay. And Foley got out of the ring after that. Like, when I say he was about to raise Foley up to the top rope, because he was so mad that he wasn't getting his match and he was getting traded for Eva Marie. The fire in this man's eyes, and that's exactly what Mick Foley wanted to bring out of him. Oh my goodness, that was golden. That segment was excellent. Oh, I think that was my favorite part of the night. That was great. And then after this, we get the main event, which is the New Day once again defending their WWE Tag Team Championships in a triple threat match. Triple threat tag team match. This time against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and the team of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Commentary did a good job putting over the fact that the New Day were tired. They switched Xavier out for Kofi. Well, they switched Kofi out for Xavier so they could get a fresh body in the match, because they had a big task ahead of them. They did an incredible 6-man superplex from one corner of the ring. Like, they had two people like on either side of the ropes from the outside of the ring, two people on the side of the ropes from the inside, and then they had Roman Reigns and Big E come in and powerbomb all of them as they did the superplex. I've seen the 4-man superplex. I've never seen the 6-man. That was new to me. This match was freaking incredible as well. This match was all over the place. Jericho and Owens did a good job working over Big E, who was tired. He wrestled already and was obviously going to tire out quickly. Man, oh man. After that, you didn't really see him until the end of the match. The match wasn't what I thought it was going to be. My expectations were low and the match just exceeded them. Like, it was crazy. Man, we had all three teams that had an equal opportunity to win the match. The false finishes were getting me. They were so close. The pinfalls were so close. Jericho was still looking good. Owens had his back. Rollins and Reigns showing shades of their Shield days from back in the day when they were tag team champions. Jericho had got Xavier into the walls of Jericho. He fought out of it, tried to pin Jericho. Jericho kicked out. And like I said, that was just the story of the match. It was just so many close near falls. The crowd was just going crazy. They were on their feet for most of this match. Xavier had to put in some work for his team with Big E out of the match. Pretty much tried to save the match. Rollins saved Xavier from getting pinned because Xavier got caught with that pop-up code breaker that they do, which is still one of my favorite moves for a team to do. That it reminds me of the Shatter Machine a little bit, but it's still kind of different. And I love the Shatter Machine. That's an awesome finishing move. Then, like I said, as Rollins saved the match, he pushed Owens onto Chris Jericho. And then they started fighting because Jericho's like, dude, you fell on me. I had the match won. What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? They started fighting. Owens got pushed out of the ring. Jericho got pedigreed. And then Big E, who we didn't see for a good 5-6 minutes, grabbed Seth Rollins and put him out of the ring. And Xavier, who was pretty much dead, put his arm over Chris Jericho's shoulder and got the 3 count. And once again, the New Day are your longest reigning tag team champions of all time. They broke the record. They're going to break the record. It's broken. Unless they're having another match right now and they lose the titles, they got that record. They've broken Demolition's 25-year record. Congrats to them. Working hard. Actually making a name for themselves. Actually, coming together, building a gimmick that wasn't successful at first. And they eventually got themselves over. And the crowd loves them. I think their time as tag team champions should be done now. They've pretty much done all they've needed to do. After the match, Owens and Jericho started arguing again. Owens was just like, dude, what's your problem? Like, he was trying to explain to him that Rollins pushed him on him. You've been doing this long enough. You know I'm not just going to fall on you. Like, why would I do that? I wanted to win the tag team championships. And, they started bickering back and forth. And as you hear the crowd just get louder, like they're about to pop for something, because it was just in one corner, the camera pans out. Jericho slides out of the ring. He was just like, you know what? I'm done with this. You might want to turn around, too. Owens turns around, and you got Roman Reigns just waiting in the corner for the spear and catches him. And he caught him with the spear. They face off at Roadblock this Sunday, and Roman ended off Raw, holding up both the United States Championship and the Universal Championship as a signal that he's going to beat Kevin Owens and become the Universal Champion and United States Champion at the same time. And I think he'll be the first one to do that. First one to hold both of those belts if he actually wins, which I don't think he will. Surprisingly enough, I don't think Roman Reigns is going to win that match. I'll get into my predictions later this week. I'm actually going to make a predictions video this time. I haven't made one for the past couple of pay-per-views because I actually kind of forgot. But we'll make the predictions video for you guys. And that was how Raw went off. Like I said, very solid show. Kept me entertained for once. One of the better shows in the past, 3 months. And I actually enjoyed it. I'll give it a solid B like I did before. And that was that. Let me know what you guys thought of Raw down in the comment section down below. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on tonight's Raw. Did you think it sucked? Did you think it was a good show? Slap a like on the video if you enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new. Check out the website, Collision Course Pro Wrestling. Also in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.